The presence of steel trus, pneumatophores, sunken stomata, and salt glands are adaptive features of plants found in the correct option here is B, mangrove swamps. Now, plants that live in the mangrove swamp forest, they have some special adaptations. A very common one is the breeding roots, pneumatophores. You see some roots above the waterlogged soil projecting upwards. They use this to absorb atmospheric oxygen because there is very low oxygen in the waterlogged soil. And then they have steel trus that help to anchor them effectively to the waterlogged soil. And of course, salt glands that help them excrete excess salt, especially those of them that live in salty swamps. So the correct option here is B. Which of the following animals can exist solely on the water they get from food and metabolic reactions? The correct option here is B, desert dwellers. An animal like the camel can go several kilometers in the desert without drinking water because it can get food from, it can get water from the food that it feeds on. Okay, and of course, you know, they store fats in their home. Okay, most of the fats are stored in their home so that they can easily lose heat from the skin because the environment is very hot. And of course, if they need more energy, they can break down the fats stored in the home. The correct answer here is B. The most likely first colonizers of a bedrock are, correct option here is C, lichens. Lichens are the first colonizers. You know, lichens is an association between algae and fungus, a mutualistic association. Lichens secrete chemicals that can break down the surface of the rock to form new soil. So in primary succession, you see them as the first colonizers. So correct option is C, lichens. The carrying capacity of a habitat is reached when the population growth begins to, the correct option here is B, increase exponentially. Of course, the number of individuals that a habitat can carry is the carrying capacity, the number of individuals it can sustain. So if the population begins to grow exponentially, maybe from 100 to 200 to, you know, so it can go beyond the carrying capacity of the habitat. So correct option here is B. The abiotic factors that control human population include flooding and earthquake. Flooding and earthquake. These two can be very destructive. They can destroy human lives and thereby controlling human population. So correct option here is C. An indigenous method of renewing and maintaining soil fertility is by D, crop rotation and shifting cultivation. Of course, by shifting cultivation, when farmers cultivate a particular soil and move to another land, the previous land can renew. The dead plants and animals there can decay and increase the soil fertility. Okay, and for crop rotation, this makes sure that too much nutrients are not taken out of the soil. So both methods help to sustain or maintain soil fertility. So correct option here is D. The diseases caused by waterborne pathogens include, correct option here is D, typhoid and cholera. They are waterborne. Of course, typhoid is caused by a bacterium, Salmonella typhi. You can get it by drinking contaminated water. The same thing with cholera. You can also get it by drinking contaminated water. It's caused by a bacterium, Vibrio cholerae. So correct option here is D. The graph illustrates, the correct option here is a continuously varying character. A character that shows continuous variation has intermediates. You know, for instance, height, you cannot say in a population that is either you are tall or you are short. No, there are intermediates between the tallest and the shortest. So if you plot a graph of that population, you have a histogram. If you put a curve on it, you have something like this. So the correct option is C. The largest number of cassava plants has an approximate height of, you can see the highest height here is 1.6 meters. Okay, so the correct option here is B. Which of the following is true in blood transfusion? The correct option here is A. A person of blood group AB can donate blood to another person of blood group AB. Yes. If you look at the 4 blood groups, AB are called universal recipients. They can receive from anybody. You can see they can receive from O, A, B, and themselves. And the reason is because they don't have antibodies in their plasma. You know, it is the antibodies of the recipient that fights against the antigens in the red blood cells of the donor. So because they don't have antibodies in their plasma, I'm talking about people with blood group AB, so they can't fight the incoming red blood cells from the donor because they don't have antibodies in their plasma. But if they donate blood to you, because they have antigens in their red cells, your antibodies can fight them if you are O, A, B. Okay, so they are called universal recipients. They can only receive, they can receive from anybody, but can only donate to themselves.